What up, Rare fam? It's your boy Rare John coming at you with another reaction video. And the Raiders have finally announced who the starting quarterback for the 2024 season will be. Gardner Minshew. Now, I think a lot of people are wondering how you can come to that conclusion after a game like yesterday. Well, it's actually quite simple if you really look at it. The preseason game yesterday was atrocious. It was just horrible. The entire team struggled. Offense, defense. The only thing that actually did good and steadied the way of our team was special teams. Actually showed up. But the quarterback position in particular, it was just not a good showing on our quarterbacks. Both of them had pretty much the same day. Just like all of camp, just like all of preseason, it's been the same result, just different execution. The thing about this game, though, that was a little bit different was one particular category: turnovers. And if you really look at it, guys, as bad as Gardner Minshew did, it was pretty bad, and I'm not going to even front on that. It even got me questioning whether or not I would still want him to start as a QB. He didn't turn the ball over. It's one of those weird coincidences where AOC actually looked pretty decent when he came in. Pretty efficient, 14 to 20, and had 95 yards and a touchdown. Here's the thing. He telegraphed the fuck out of that pick six. Now, Minshew, in my opinion, had a shitty day when it came to efficiency. 14 to 20. But he also had the same amount of yards. He had 95 yards. 14, 20, and 95 yards. And he completed less than 50% of his passes. But the thing is, there's no turnover. There's no points given to the other side. And I'm not saying that was the deciding factor, but if you really look at it, if you're going to take all the knowledge you got from camp, all of the reps, all of the snaps, and you add everything up, and it really does come down to the wire, you got to add that on top of it, the fact that these two were probably at their worst, or maybe, pretty damn close to their worst. They both had a bad day. Both had a bad game. The difference is one gave the other team points. The other just had a bad fucking game. But didn't do things that added to, the loss. Don't get me wrong. They didn't do anything to add to, a better performance either. But it's one of those things where I could see how that could add, a positive on Minshew's side. Even with a bad game, you still have the same results. And I understood a lot of people's arguments with AOC getting the starting job. I actually was really convinced that he probably would win it because of that argument that they had, that the moment he starts, he actually has something worth fighting for to keep. Whereas if he were to sit and then start later on in the season, he doesn't feel like he needs to prove anything anymore. Like, I understand that logic. I understand where they are coming from that. But my perspective with Minshew is he just gives us the better chance to win. Simple as that. What it comes down to is mobility and experience. That's honestly the only reason he has an edge. Otherwise, AOC probably would have won this shit. And when you look at it, we got the same result, just different execution when it came to these two quarterbacks. Either way, we're not where we want to be. Let's be real about this. We're not. It came down to who's going to lose it, because nobody was stepping up to win it. Personally speaking, guys, I think AOC has the ability to actually start on this team, to lead this team. I do think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a more accurate quarterback. I just think when it comes to this season starting off, whether or not he takes over later on in the year or not, and maybe we do have to go down that route, maybe he plays better under pressure. I don't know what it is, but he has not separated himself from someone who is a veteran and someone that has proven he could, lead a team to the doorstep of the playoffs. And And I could see how people say, like, well, he has potential, so it could probably go above that. Well, he needs to show it. And if you're not going to step up and take that shit, then they're going to go with the status quo. Because at least then they know what they got. As much as it could go positive, it could also go negative. So the unknown is the unknown. If he earns it back, he's not going to want to give it back up. That's my point of view on that. But, you know, it was actually a horrible showing altogether. It wasn't just the quarterbacks either, man. The defense. That was a fucking letdown. I honestly think this defense is struggling way too much with run stopping. This is bad, guys. Like this is the second game in a row where they just couldn't stop the run, and it was first team against second team. I repeat, it was first team against second team, and they couldn't stop the run. That is concerning to the maximum in my opinion, guys. That is very freaking concerning. Cowboys had 139 yards rushing in this game. And they had such a balanced offense against us, just with second teamers. They had 9 first downs rushing, 9 first downs throwing. It was bad. It was pretty bad. Honestly, guys, defensively, I expect so much more. So much more. I said in the last video, I have a standard. Well, they are not even freaking close to meeting that standard in the second preseason game. Not even close. They played more snaps and they had more time out on the field. And I didn't see a damn thing different from the negatives that I picked up in the last game. Not a damn thing. Ain't no mistake about it. I'm not saying everybody was horrible. There were some good showings. I really like what Trey Tucker is doing right now, because all through camp, all I've heard about drops, and so far the kid's actually showing up in preseason game when it's live fire. So I gotta respect this kid's hustle. Just keep it up. And also, the stars of the stars, they all had flashes and showed that they still got it. I'm not too mad at this team because it's preseason and because we do got to get games like this out of the way. You want to have your shittiest game in preseason, not in the regular season. So, hopefully it's just a case of dusting off the rust and we'll be right back to getting on it and, grinding out some wins or something. But I honestly, guys, this preseason game was very disappointing. So, congratulations to Gardner Minshew. You are the starting quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. You have my support. You have Raider Nation support until you lose it. And we will have an emotional roller coaster with you because I already know you're going to make some bonehead decisions, but hopefully you make some good ones too. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Y'all know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Go Raiders.